Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Morning Brew with Hunter Drew. I'm your host, Hunter Drew, and today I'm joined by none other than Alexander Juan Antonio Cortes, a.k.a. AJA, a.k.a. Chad Jesus, who has risen back from the Twitter dead. AJ, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going, Hunter?
It's going. So let's just dive right into this. You're back on Twitter after a hiatus. What the fuck?
Yeah, so I have no doubt there's going to be some people that will swear like it was a stunt or, oh, you're always going to come back. No bullshit. When I got banned last week, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, I legitimately thought after 2-3 days I was permanently banned from the platform. I made completely different, separate reinvention plans. I had accepted it. Why I was banned, here's the thing. Since people are going to want to know, I don't know. Twitter never told me what it was. I never got. Normally, when you get suspended or you get a warning, I mean, you've even had that happen. They say delete these tweets, or you tweeted out this something. I got nothing like that. It was just hateful conduct. You violated the hateful conduct policy. It didn't say what it was. I appealed it 4 times. 4 times it came back. I had people that even messaged me in the sort of tech industry. They're like, hey man, let me see if I can escalate this for you. I had some friends even were trying to help me out with it. That work in tech. And after 4 days, by Friday, I was like, well, I guess it is what it is. So I had, like I said, I accepted it. I had made separate plans. I had this whole idea of reinvention of what I'm going to do. Not involving Twitter. I'm not getting back on Twitter. I'm not going to try and make a new account. Twitter's dead. It's gone. All right. I can move on. Perhaps, you can't rely upon one thing. It's my mistake. I should have done this, that. Had conversations with people I trusted. And then yesterday evening, just randomly, I had a guy message me. He's like, hey man, you're back on Twitter. I was like, are you, what? He's like, you're back on Twitter. I was like, bro, are you fucking with me? He's like, no, dude, you're back on Twitter. And I go and look up the account, my account, obviously, and I'm back on. And this was after they had sent me 4 or 5 messages that you were permanently suspended from the platform. So, and then they sent me a message last night saying, hey, sorry, we made a mistake. Your account was, the algorithm thought you were spam. So that's why we suspended you forever. So yeah, I was kind of blown out, but apparently, dude, my account's active again, and I got back all 70,000.1 followers. So, all right, cool. I'll take it.
Before we kick this off, I was talking to you about how, my wife had my phone when the text came in and it said, I'm back on Twitter. Dude, I couldn't believe it. And people, they are going to think oh, is this stunt or whatever, you're hanging off. No, man. We had conversations where you're like, I'm done. I'm moving forward. Here's a game plan. And the topic of this show was going to be reinvention because you're off Twitter. So you've got to reinvent yourself. And I'm like, well, we got to spin this to you're back. So now what are you going to do? So since your hiatus and since you saw how quickly you can be removed without any cause whatsoever, what kind of mindset has there been a mindset shift in how you're going to treat Twitter?
Oh, yeah, massively. I mean, the thing with Twitter, and I said this in my email and I meant it, Twitter is the best platform in the world for networking, bar none. It's unbelievable what you can do. We can get on Twitter, you can make an account, and if you tweet out, if you share valuable content, if you have a message, if you are a signal, you're not noise, you can actually connect with like-minded people. You can make friends. You can become a public speaker, like we've done. You can become a brand to yourself. So you can find people, and you can leverage sort of that personal brand, social media kind of business. It is quite remarkable. It's amazing. At the same time, Twitter does have the reputation for being a shit show. It does. People get on Twitter. It's very partisan. It's very political. Everyone's sort of fighting and arguing back and forth. And there's a general tone to the platform that encourages animosity. That's always present. Drive-by, the sort of drive-by tweeting example. People you have no idea who they are. You never met them. They'll come by. They'll shell over your tweets. They have a problem with you. So on and so forth. So Twitter is great. It's great on one hand. You can build a brand. It definitely allows you to inject yourself in the public consciousness because you can write a lot. You can write. You can get your message out there. And people on Twitter, I've said this before, Twitter is a smart platform. People that like to read don't. People that don't like to read don't get on Twitter. So you have a very literate audience, and that's great. But at the same time, though, because the medium is tweeting, you tweet something, it goes away in an hour, basically. Most tweets have a very short half-life. So it trains you to think very short term, just by default. It does. because you're tweeting out 2 or 3 sentences at maximum. So it has these advantages to it, but at the same time, as you get into the mode of sort of being like a Twitter personality, I really think it has a metaphorical, or not metaphorical, but like a truly substantial effect on your long-term plans, your long-term thinking, where you just don't really think long-term. It's hard to, because, well, you gotta open up the app and, okay, what are people saying? Let me say something, hopefully people retweet this. And we all do it. Everybody that uses Twitter consistently does that. Everyone does. Whether we want to admit to or not. I had this conversation with Cernovich, like, we're all Twitter addicts. Everyone that uses Twitter. Everyone's an addict. You might have a virtuous addiction, but it's still an addiction. So the first day I was off the platform, I would not call it withdrawals. It was not in the sense of like, oh my God, I'm sad. I was not sad, but it was very weird to me where I could tell like I want to like be constantly looking at something. Like I was very restless. And after about 24 hours, it went away. I really didn't use social media much the past week. And like, so 2 days went away. I'm like, all right, like I'd accepted that Twitter's gone. But then I was like, okay, now what next? So I had a whole plan around how I was going to reinvent myself, which was kind of like the first, I think you could say like sort of like lesson of reinvention. If you're self-made, if you've run your own business your whole life, where I've had bosses, I've worked for other people, but I've always had a business where I really work for myself. And I guess it's sort of the number one lesson to speak to, like reinventing yourself as a man, is that you always have to have a plan. It's number one. You can't ever be left with nothing like, oh, I don't know what to do. Someone's going to tell me what to do. There's some answers out there. Will you give me answers? Fuck you. You're not getting fucking answers. You have to come up with your own answers. So I mean, kind of number two, like one, you have to have a plan. Two, you have to come up with your own answers. No one's going to do that for you. There's not going to be someone that comes along and gives you like a thing. It's like, okay, don't worry. I know your whole life fell apart in one day and like your shit's all fucking wrecked, but here's like the savior solution, and you don't have to worry about anything. Like, no, you have to do all that yourself. So I create a strategy. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my network of people. I've got the world. I have the best fucking network in the world. I firmly believe I have the best network. I have the best friends. They're the coolest, baddest motherfuckers. I know they're the most interesting, accomplished, successful men. I'm like, I'm going to actually utilize these men. So I'm actually going to talk to these men. I build all these relationships. I'm going to help get their message out. I'm going to use my name. I'm going to use my email list. I'm going to start growing my account like on YouTube. I'm going to go over to Instagram, start presenting a model of like how to be like a masculine man today in the world, and actually show that and take that seriously, that platform, because you have to take this shit seriously. Like I'm going to execute. So like all this shit's going in motion. My IG's growing. Like I'm sitting down writing each day, like strategizing, like real strategizing. Okay, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. So all this shit's going, and then, oh, Twitter's back. Okay, whoa, what the fuck? So in a way, it was like both a blessing. Like I'm very thankful, but it also feels almost like a curse. I'm like, okay, well, now how do I use this more effectively than I used to before? How can I actually leverage this audience? So it's like I'm still in the middle of like a mindset shift with it, thinking about really how to use it that way.
I can only imagine. I mean, you go back to the way we're Twitter addicts. I'm on that every single day, like every single day, multiple times a day. I don't know, like if that was gone, I'd be like, what do I do with my hands? And then I was thinking about it. Obviously, when you go through it, you kind of play the what if game. I'm like, all right, now what if because I tweeted, free AJA, I'm on the list too, and boom, I'm out. I'm like, all right, what would I do? And it sent me kind of down this rabbit hole of, Twitter's like having a thought, but you don't really flesh out an idea. It's like, here's a thought, boom, here's a thought, boom. And then you go to the email list and the blog, and you're like, all right, that's where the real ideas are. And my email list and my blog have reduced as my Twitter has increased, because I'm like, oh, I had the thought, I threw it out. I don't have to flesh through this idea. So I realized as you went down, I'm like, I need to make sure I'm diving into these deep thoughts as well. And with Instagram, we were talking about how you can kind of go a little bit further. So people can see the photo, and if that photo is good enough and it tells the story, people want to read the story. So they go further. So I've actually started tweeting longer, or not tweeting, Instagramming. I don't know what the hell you call that.
Yeah,
Instaing.
The captions.
Yeah, I've been captioning much larger to kind of flesh out the thought to more of the idea. And then on the blog, I'm going back to there to go like real deep into the shit.
Yes.
So it's a different part of the brain. It really does. You've got to really learn to think things out. You've got to learn like, hey, it's not just a thought anymore. Like, what do I mean? Presence, not presence. Let's actually fucking talk about that instead of these 3 words. You
actually have to do deep work. And the funny thing, like people like, oh, Instagram, like everyone has the same reaction to every platform. Like a Facebook, oh, it's just fucking Facebook. Like, why do you take Facebook seriously? Twitter. Oh wow, you have a Twitter following? Oh, you actually make money doing that? What the fuck? Oh, Twitter's a fucking shit show. Instagram, same thing. My point being, you can be snarky towards any platform. Every platform can be critiqued on some level that like it's shallow or superficial or it's stupid. But I mean, I said this last night in like last night's IG post I posted where we live in a world of noise. Excuse me. We are surrounded by a cacophony of noise all the time. What is noise? Noise is bullshit tweets. Noise is bullshit posting. Noise is the fact that everybody is so entrained by social media that we have to share constantly, that everyone just shares shit. And so we have this mindset that we're sort of inculcated with, that because we are, a digitized world and like it's global, like we have to be giving out something constantly 24/7. It's continuous flow. And most of what people share is nothing worth sharing. So like we're basically like we're consumers that way. We don't think about it that way. We say, no, how is sharing consumerism? Like, no, it is consumerism. Because all of these digital platforms, all these apps, everything is encouraging you to participate. You got to be participating all the fucking time. But most of the participation, it's bullshit. It's just you fucking just putting yourself out there with nothing actually really to offer, and now you are, exposed to ads. Now they can get. Now the companies can get money out of you. Now you're going to buy something. So we live in a world of noise, and I really thought about this significantly. Being off Twitter, I'm like, the manosphere, what we think of as a manosphere, we've been very small thinkers. I have been a small thinker. I have been a small thinker. Everybody has. Now, some of us have bigger accounts than others. Some of us have blogs, of course. Some people have done more. But because we are confined to this fishbowl, and even though it's 300 million people, 4 million, it's still a fishbowl, our thinking is dominated by the noise in that fishbowl. So like this very classical critique, Twitter's not the real world. Twitter is definitely the mind of like the United States. But again, it actually is not the world. There's a whole nother market of people out there. There's a whole other market of men, like young men, and they're looking for role models, looking for mentors. They're looking for a message. They're looking to actually look at somebody like in the flesh in a picture and see how they're living their life. They're looking for sort of almost like an iconic representation. And you can find them on different platforms. They're all out there. The audience is out there. But if we confine ourselves to just tweeting, and like you said, these short little thoughts that we throw out, we're always going to limit our reach. We're not going to reach all the men that we could be reaching. We are not. There's no way in hell. It's just not going to happen. So like I was telling you guys, like, the private group we have, like, yeah, we absolutely should use Instagram. Like, well, Instagram, like, yeah, bro, because the number one thing that most men tell us today, all of our audience tells us all the fucking time, this, they didn't have a role model. They didn't have a dad. They didn't have a good dad. They had no kind of male figure that they could look up to and say, oh shit, okay, like that's how a man acts. That's how a man behaves. That's what a man's values are. This is how a man dresses and conducts himself. We might think it's bullshit. Like people might underrate it, but when you see a guy on a platform, he's putting forth a masculine, pro-traditionalist, pro-man message, and he's got it written out and fleshed out and defined, and he is unabashedly, unapologetic about it. That's fucking inspiring. And Twitter, like, guess what? Twitter, to a really very, very real level, it allows people to be keyboard warriors. You can. Instagram, and I'm not saying that anyone's like an Instagram fucking warrior. That's not my point. Like, oh, Instagram, like we're badass on Instagram. Like, no, but my point is, it's a platform where you actually have to show your image. Okay, now you have to show your body, show your life a little bit. Take that a little bit seriously. And now people can see what you look like. They can see how you move. They can see who your friends are. They can see kind of what you do like as part of your daily routine. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, highlights and lowlights, it's not real life. It might not be your whole life, but it is part of your life. And now you're using imagery to represent yourself. Now you're using imagery to spread your message. I've been amazed at the reactions I've got on Instagram in the past, IG, the past 4 or 5 days I've been using it. I'm like, holy shit, this platform is amazing. It's much like Twitter, like, 4 years ago for myself. Like, no one takes the shit seriously. But yet, of course, the irony to all this is that we look at really big accounts, people with 2 or 3 million followers, 5 million followers, people that clearly have massively successful like social media brands are selling shit. And it's like, oh man, I'd like to be at that level. But at the same time, we don't take it seriously when we use it. We want to have this like million man message, but all of us treat our fucking accounts like they're just never going to be anything more like 100K, like little niche things that like, oh, we're not mainstream. It's just, we'll do our I'll sell my products. I'll meet up with my boys, these things. Like, again, like it's small thinking. It's small fucking thinking. So that's when I wrote that email. Like, I was dead serious about that. I'm like, this is probably the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. Is it forced me to think bigger. Only when you are left with nothing are you free to do anything. So like I lost my whole big account, the way I generated revenue because I had so much traffic coming in, all my stuff. All right, well, you know what? What if I actually had to create a business from scratch, learning everything I've learned, everything I know with the network I have? What could I actually make? That was my big question. My answer was for myself. I'm like, you could change the world. You have a massive platform, a massive audience somewhere else because of everything you've learned, everything you've written. Like, there's nothing stopping you. It's just doing the work of building that. I'm like, oh, and I was like, fuck, yeah, I can absolutely do this. So and then Twitter came back though. So I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna have to leverage that audience, this audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, my point to all this, like, my encouragement to you, like all of us, honestly, I'm like we need to not get off Twitter, but like we need to like just break down the barriers we have to like what we think. Oh, this is the manosphere. It's this for this. I'm like, no, the whole fucking world. The world is 50% men. Okay, so technically we have 3 billion guys that can probably use our message. They could use the program. They could use the fraternity of excellence. They could use someone to help them be a better father. They could use this unfatting themselves and getting fucking fit, losing the body fat. They could dress better. They could get their mindset right. They could fucking get better with women. They have all these things. We have all these resources available to guys. So like, but are we reaching them? Are we sort of just caught up in our own brand and like, what we think like we represent to people, based upon, these digital limitations? Like we got untangled the cobwebs.
No, I like it. And this line of thought, I kind of want to stick with it because it's almost like we're not taking it seriously. It's for the sake of remaining relevant. We're just tweeting anything just to be relevant, just to have a tweet go out there. Mm-hmm. And at no point did you take a serious tweet, not you, but most, and myself included. Yeah. Sometimes I'll tweet something just to tweet it, just to be like, hey, Hunter Drew's still alive. Hey, come follow this, whatever. And it's not, look, if you are intentional and you treat it kind of like a man, mm-hmm. as you mature, treat it more maturely.
Yes.
It's kind of like you've got to mature as an account. And the way you went through losing Twitter and then coming back and seeing, the grand scheme, you're absolutely correct. And it's almost as your maturation is occurring, those around you get to see it like, oh shit. Like just now as you're speaking, I'm like, man, I've always joked, hey, until I'm in the airport and somebody's like, hey, Hunter Drew, like I haven't made it. Like that was my side of making it when I get recognized in public.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. When you talk about using Instagram and sharing your body, sharing your life, that's a sense of accountability. Mm-hmm. And what has always bothered me, and the biggest arguments I've had on Twitter have been with the men who have a lot of advice to give men, but they're not living any of it. You're not seeing any of it in action in their life. Like, oh, this is red pill, this is manosphere, this is this. But I'm like, there's no photos of you doing this. There's just you talking a lot on like right now. You're just a floating head on YouTube.
Yeah.
Show me your application of this. Show me in the real world what it is you're doing. I get that we're swapping notes. I get that we're trying to help men, but there's a sense of connection that needs to be, or not even connection, a sense of, confirmation that you are what you say you are.
Mm-hmm. You need proof of life. Like you legitimately, like you need proof of life. I was, it's funny you talk about like being recognized in like the airport. Like the past week, I got recognized like almost every day.
You're famous.
Despite not being on Twitter. Dude, it was the weirdest thing. And I've been recognized before. Like I'm not gonna pat my own ass like, oh, I'm so famous. But like I've been going to the same gym. I'm in the same area. I get banned on Twitter and like once a day when I was out in public, because I was also going out more too, to sort of like walking around, this like thinking. I had people that recognize me. Like I had a guy at the gym like yesterday. He's like, hey, are you AJA from Twitter? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh man, I love your shit. I've been following you for 2 years. I'm like,
that's gotta be fucking weird, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, bro. Like I shook his hand. We talked for 10 minutes. I'm like, it's like, yeah, man, you guys are crazy. Like I love your message, but like you guys are just so bold. Like it's really inspiring though. I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. Like, I mean, like I know I'm banned now, but like that means a lot. Obviously, I'm back, but no, you're right. Like there has to be proof of life. I mean, I would say lesson number 3 for like reinvention as a man, like you have to be intentional with what you do. Like I mean, it's such a basic thing. Like you must be intentional because you cannot act randomly. You cannot expect outcomes to work in your favor. Just by let me just do some things. I hope this works. I'm like, no, bro, take your actions fucking seriously. It's gonna echo. It's gonna have an effect.
Well, it's like they say, a single shot can change history. Mm-hmm. Instead of just machine gunning and spraying and hoping something hits, take one calculated shot, whatever that is, whether it's the tweet, whether it's a sharing of every post on Instagram has a purpose. Every tweet has a purpose. Mm-hmm. think about how much time will be saved too. You were actually the one who brought that to my attention. Is just go on Twitter to produce and then get off. And
Yeah.
I caught myself after you said, I'm like, fuck. You're like, sometimes I'll sit and scroll. I'm like, what's this guy up to? Oh, that guy's talking shit. What's this guy up to? I'm like, that's fucking 15 minutes. Add that up throughout the day. That's an hour I could have been writing something else or creating something else or just doing anything else,
Oh yeah. No, I mean, like 100%. Like I'm going to use it now. Like I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to I'm not like shit posting. I pretty much grown up from, but it's still fun at times. Like you want to show personality. Obviously, like last week when I was at the airport, I was like getting drunk in the airplane. I'm like, oh, I'm on the airplane first class. like it's always fun to be a jokester that way. But
even that is intentional. Even the relaxed time is intentional.
Well, you're showing your face, which that's the funny thing with Twitter. It always pisses people off when people show their face on Twitter. Like, look at this. I've had people tell me like I stopped following you. You start posting pictures of yourself like you're important. I'm like, yeah, or it could be anonymous and never post it. I'm like, like you have like these are the fuck people say, right? They can't care. But it shows you like the level of like not seriousness people take the platform. But yeah, there's a level of intentionality to everything. There's a proof of life, and then at the same time, you again the social media criticism. We talk about like highlights versus lowlights, and people don't really show themselves. Yeah, you can say that, but how many people really have highlights to show? Like you can bullshit highlights. Yeah, you could be a hot girl and go to the location and take a photo next to a car that's not yours.
What did you say? Hey, here's my ass in Dubai. Hey, here's my ass in like America.
The funny thing is, and I mean this seriously, it's going to sound ridiculous, but I mean this seriously. If you're a man, especially if you're like a middle-aged man, like not like a young hot guy, trying to grow like a platform, and use your image, you actually have to work a little bit because you don't have the advantage of beauty. Maybe you're handsome. You could say, well, there's a handsome advantage. Okay, cool. I'm good looking. That's an advantage. But people, predominantly when they get on social media, especially imagery, they just want to look at hot girls. They want to look at asses and cars. If you don't have it, like if you're not a hot girl with an ass or your tits and ass, or a dude that's super wealthy showing your cars, you kind of actually just have to show your real life and what you're doing that's important to you, and and hope that counts for something to somebody. Which is it's a good thing in a way. It's a good thing because actually like what am I actually doing each day? Yeah, there's lots. Yeah, I'm always amazed like with Tanner Guzzi, his account. Tanner's Mormon. He's got 4 kids. He shows being a father. And he actually has a strong following that he has with people because like it really resonates. Like, okay, he's a father. I'm a father. I can connect with a man. We oftentimes we think these platforms in these sort of like very ephemeral, immature terms, like almost like teenagers. Like, what do teenagers like? What do teenage boys look at? They look at abs and girls and cars. I'm like, yeah, but what do men look for? Like, there are men looking for something. Guys do use this shit. We wouldn't have an audience if they don't. So again, taking it seriously, you have to take it seriously. I was in Beverly Hills over the weekend. It was very weird timing. So I'm part of the War Room, Andrew Tate's group. Mm-hmm. So we had 14 guys that came in from all over the United States, to LA to fucking do a deep mastermind for 3 days. And it was not bullshit, obviously. We were diving into like how to reprogram your thoughts, your self-limiting beliefs. How do you speak to yourself? How do you speak to others? Body language. We covered mindset and the body for like 3 hours every single morning. I trained all these guys for 3 days, every day. Waking up. All right, let's go. We fucking got an hour. We're gonna fucking sweat. Okay, we're gonna fucking bleed, be in pain. Not bleed, but we're gonna be perspirating. You're gonna feel what it's like to be really uncomfortable. And those guys left. They were totally transformed. Like I could see from their day one, their body language when they walked in, how they carried themselves, their shoulders, their eye contact. Kind of being down inward to like leaving on Sunday or leaving Monday. They're engaging. They're watching each other. They're telling stories. They know how to speak to people now. Like, fuck, man. And these dudes spent money on this, and that was a serious experience. We were with them all day, every day, for these 4 days. The Tate brothers flew in. They talked to them. They did a whole presentation. Talked about making money. Talked about having a vision for your life. And on a serious level, hours and hours of conversation. Tackling different issues. It's like, okay, like these guys are willing. They're willing to invest this time in themselves. That was a huge thing for me. I was there. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I never thought in my life I'd be doing this. I never thought in my life I'd be playing this role of men, helping men get stronger. Like this is meaningful to me. And of course, like I shared it, I posted about it. But then, like you said, like you can get on Twitter and there's guys that just all they do is just talk. Red pill this, their theories, like analyzing news. I'm like, you know what? Like that's fun to do. But you're like you said, you're a talking head. you really want to change the world and you're serious about this message, like it really means so much to you, show your fucking life. Like live that life. Live that life and demonstrate to people that it can be done. Demonstrate that. Let your life be your proof of work. Every aspect of it. Where someone could spend a day with you and be like, holy shit, this really is what you're like. Yes, it is. Not bullshitting. If you can do that, like I said, there's no limitation to the growth and the momentum, the influence you're going to have. If it's just words on the screen, it's literally that. It's just words on the screen. It will never go farther than that.
Nothing will ever replace the real world accountability. You were talking about tribes earlier. When you first got banned, we started talking like, hey, what's the game plan? Let's figure something out. How can we help you?
Yeah.
We talk about the war room. I love what the Tate brothers are doing. I think the war room is fucking incredible. We've got the Fraternity of Excellence, which is my group. We have in February, we're having our next meetup. But the first one was similar to what you're saying. Nonstop, 24/7. You were eating together, lifting together, climbing mountains together, shooting together, always together, doing things. And you get to see the real man. And you guys in Beverly Hills, Jack has Liminal Order. Ryan Mickler has Order of Man. These tribes, they're showing up and doing real work.
They are.
And it's necessary for men to find which one fits them and get into it. Because when shit does hit the fan, and it will in all of our lives, something will happen. You have that group. You're like, all right, it's not the end of the world. I'm not alone on the bottom of a pit. I've got men with me. Sure, I'm the one that got knocked down this time. They're here to pick me up. We can go forward. So this may not be on the reinvention lessons or list.
Yeah.
But I think having a group is essential, for sustained growth, sustained performance. Because at some point you're going to take a knee. You need someone to pick your shoulder up. Like, hey, you're good. Stay focused. You're fine. We got your back. Go forward.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that is like, let's say like lesson number 4 of like reinvention. Be generous with your time. I'll tell you why. It's like, well, yeah, how can I be generous if I have my back against the wall? The thing that really amazed me the past week, and I'm dead serious about this, bro, because I love you and like I love all you guys. Like that shit went down. I contacted you guys like on Wednesday morning, like, hey guys, like I'm banned. Like, maybe we can fix this thing. Okay, what's going to get fixed? All right, what now? I don't consider myself like a good person. I'll say that right away. I do not consider myself a good man. I would never pretend to be one. I'm good at being a man, but I am not someone to follow of like, oh, I have really awesome values and I'm godly. I'm a deeply flawed fucking person, flat out. But the one thing I have done that I guess I didn't really even realize and appreciate myself is that I've always been very generous with my time. If I've seen people like in social media the past few years on Twitter or whatever, I'd retweet their stuff. I'd promote their stuff. I'd help them out. I'd say, go follow this person. Yourself, like all these other guys at 21 Convention, like, yeah, this guy's, I'm just finding him like, I wasn't trying to do it to be like, oh, I'm helping you out, but I'm doing you a favor. I'm like, no, this is a guy that's like fucking living his truth, being authentic. Cool. Fucking retweet, promote, follow this dude, check him out, join his shit. I like this. I dig it, whatever. I did that all the time, obviously, all the time with people. And I was happy to do it. I like doing it. Like, I like seeing men grow that way. Yeah, and then this past week, like yourself and like all of other people that contacted me, they're like, hey, need help with anything? And I was like, why are all these people helping me? I'm like, I was legitimately surprised. I'm like, I had this level of support in the background that I never expected to have ever. I didn't. And thanks for contacting me. Like, what made you reach out? Whatever. Like, oh, dude, well, you helped me out with this. Like, you talked to me like in the DMs over and over again. Like a year ago when I had questions, you sent me back a whole email. You answered. You sent me a free program. You've supported my work. Like all these things. And I was like, wow, I guess I've done a lot for people like that. Holy shit. Okay. And I was like, I never really appreciated that. Like maybe I took that for granted. Maybe I don't think I'm worthy of it. Like, what the fuck? So that was a bit of a mind fuck, honestly. Like that made me feel a lot better very immediately within the first few days. I'm like, no, I'm going to be fine. Because I have literally, I had the best friends in the world. I had 30 fucking guys in my inbox, in my messages, on my phone, calling, text me, saying, whatever you do, I can do this for you, that for you. Like, it's all going to work out. Tell me your plans. Like, we're going to fucking kill this. Like, I felt fucking good. I'm like, all right. Like, oh, I have absolute confidence it's going to work. Like my reinvention plan. So being generous with your time, like, what's the point of that? I realized if you want to save yourself and never be caught in a position where you have nothing, the best thing you can do over the course of your life is to serve others. Like if you can be in service to others in some way, you can effectively help somebody, you're always going to have people there for you. If you get left with, if you seriously get left with nothing, where you get knocked down and you don't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have brothers, you don't have anyone that wants to even be there for you at all, you have been living a very selfish life. Like you can't be selfish. No one is ever going to give a fuck about you if you're selfish. Period. Yeah, and it's far easier to reinvent yourself when you lose what you have, but other people can give you a little bit of theirs. Other people can lend you a hand. Yeah, that puts you in a far better position. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, but like I said, if you have nothing at all that way, you have no connections, you're stranded alone on an island, and you're going to die there, flat out.
It can be genuine too. The connections aren't just a quid pro quo.
No, it's not.
I have a lot of guys when I'll retweet their stuff, they're like, "Oh, I know I don't have many followers, but I appreciate." I'm like, I don't care how many followers you have. I liked your message. It's a genuine, like, I genuinely enjoyed what it is you said at that point or whatever it is you brought up. Because there are men behind the screen, and I think that's lost. It's always like, oh, well, I'll tag Hunter in this list because he has 20,000 followers, and I think that'll bump me up, and I'll tag AJ because he has like fucking 1 million at this point for the resurrection. And they try to tag these huge accounts, and then they do something very superficial because and it's very clear, like, you just want something from me. You're just using me to springboard to whatever. But when somebody is genuine, and if you treat your account with that genuineness,
yes,
you can forge real bonds with men. You can have actual friendships with men. We're no longer confined by proximity. We have technology that links us. I mean, we're having this conversation right now across the fucking nation.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
it's insane. So use it to make friendships. Use it to build your real life up.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm like, that's like I said, Twitter's the best networking platform in the world. Like it is. Like a guy is like, I mean, for all you guys listening, like that's like, use it for that. Like you can meet these guys. You can meet them. You can meet them online. You can meet them in the real world. You can make those relationships. I mean, that's really what men, and like I said, I mean, I've talked about it at this point so many times, but that's what men lack today more than anything else. They lack male relationships. There's been this, I call it like this gayification of like male bonding.
Always.
Like you're like if today, like in the modern world, like this has been the real like propaganda line. We have this idea of the nuclear family. So the nuclear family is like, it's your wife and your kids. Like, oh, that's the family model. Like, no, that's not traditionally how people operated. The real family is having a brotherhood. It's having an extended family. It's growing up in a village or a tribe where you know a lot of people, and you have brothers, and your wife has sisters, and your kids have brothers and sisters. And you grow up with this extended support network where it's not just you and your woman in your house in this bullshit 1950s American vision of like you coming home to your wife. Like, that's bullshit. That was always bullshit. It's always been bullshit. The real vision is you coming home to your home that's in a larger area, and you know people and they know you, and you get together and you congregate and you connect. And yeah, maybe you do have time where you're by yourself, with your woman or whatever. But that's the real network. It's brotherhood. Yeah, and men today, like it's been, like I said, it's been the gamification where it's if you have male friendships, if you want to go out and hang out with your boys that way, it's either immature, it's like you need to grow up, like women are encouraged to like basically separate men from each other. So it's either immature or it has like this sort of like homo slant to it. Like, oh, it's kind of, you hang out like Tate brothers. They live together. They've been brothers their whole lives. They see each other every day. Oh, it's kind of weird, like you're with your brother all the time, or you're with your best friend all the time. Like, like you guys are always hanging out. Like, like it's both teasing, and you could say like it's a superficial critique. It is derisive. It's a sort of encouragement that like a real man doesn't need to do that. A real man doesn't need to hang out with his boys all the time. A real man doesn't need to be around other men. That's somehow like that's a strange thing. It's an immature thing. Like, no, it's fucking not. All the most powerful men in the world, not even the most powerful, all the men in the world that have ever existed, they have lived and gotten ahead, they did so because they had other men around them. They had sons, they had brothers, they had fathers, uncles, they had extended family. They had that fraternal network. You don't get ahead literally just by yourself. No one else. That rarely, if ever, truly happens. And why do you need men around you? Because that's iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. Men test each other. We test each other against ourselves and against other men. We need that competitive cooperation. We need those role models. We need to be able to talk to some man where he's a little bit better at something that we lack in, and now we have an idea of how to become that ourselves. So we're constantly refining ourselves. You cannot do that alone. You can't. You fucking cannot. Even the most accomplished guys in the world, maybe they took a few years and they went like a sabbatical and they isolated themselves. Okay, they isolated themselves for a period of time, but then they came back into the world and they taught what they knew. They picked up students. They led people. They led men towards something. This sort of like lone wolf success model, that we see, even on social media where you see that. It's like one guy, like showing off, oh, here's what I did. I'm like, you didn't do that, dude. You had other people that worked for you. Like I've been trying to show that too. Like even the past week, different the Instagram. Like, here's me. But here's also the man I'm fucking working with. Here's who's behind me. Yeah, that's where that's where the momentum's coming from. That's the edge of the spear. Those are the edges. I'm just the point for myself. You do that, yeah, absolutely, your life will change. Absolutely. Yes, I mean that's like I keep saying. Like you can use this platform, other platforms. You can take that seriously, and you can recreate yourself in ways you never thought possible.
And I think that is the exact issue you see. When people bash the dad bod, being a husband, being lazy. The man, usually when he starts a family, is removed from the men because he goes into that nuclear family. He takes off. And when I look at veterans, when they leave the service, when they start gaining weight, again, they left the brotherhood. Cops, firefighters, all these rugged ass dudes. When they leave the brotherhood, they get soft because they're no longer with that iron sharpening iron. There's no longer that standard to maintain. And one of the biggest things I'm pushing from the family angle, and I see Tanner doing this as well, is that just because you have a wife and kids, your duty is not delegated to someone else. It's not removed from your shoulders. You still have to maintain it. And Tanner and I, we kind of keep harping on this because when you have a child, that you need to kind of double down on the skills that you have. Therefore, you can pass them on to the next generation.
Yes.
A soft man's going to raise a soft son, and that's a huge issue. And I see it turning, possibly because the echo chamber inside FOE. I see these men getting after it, and their kids are getting after it. So I'm seeing like, yeah, there's hope. But then you go into the larger picture, and you're like, look. And as you said earlier, there are so many people that don't even know we exist. That all they need to hear, all they need is just that one, hey man, here's a group of dudes that give a shit you exist and want to help you get better. They'd be like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I'd say let's say lesson 5 of reinvention, you always have to have standards. What does that mean for reinvention? It means that no matter how fucking hard you get knocked down, there's still some level of performance that you are striving for. Even if it's nothing else, like I've lost everything, but I'm still gonna fucking work out and do push-ups every day and train physically. You can always move your body, right? I super emphasize that, obviously. Fitness background, being what I've done. I'm like, if nothing else, if you have nothing else as a man, guess what? You can still train. You can be in a fucking cell and still train. There's guys in prison right now, they're gonna be in prison their whole fucking life. They're lifers. They're still fucking training every day. Because like man has to strive for something. You can't strive for nothingness. But modern life encourages us to get lazy. It encourages us to get comfortable. And we get guys get married. Oh well, it's almost like the female attitude at times. Like women, they're married. Well, I was hot when I met my husband, but now I'm a mommy, so I'm gonna get the mom bod. I don't have to look good anymore for anybody. Because I got him. Like I'm gonna make him fat too. I've said this on Twitter jokingly, but it's true. Like women will fucking dress their men like shit and make them fat because now he can't cheat. He's not going to leave me. I'm fat too. We're fat together. Oh, great. I'm like, it's fucking pathetic. It's absolutely fucking pathetic. There's no standard to anything. It's not even the lack of standard. Like you have to have standards, like I'm saying. It gives you some level of performance and it teaches you to think in like a goal-oriented mindset. It's also the level of like, how do you show up to the world? Is that your idea of how you live life, that you just achieve something momentarily and then you allow it to degrade? That's your attitude? I got the job. Oh, now I can fucking slack off. Got married. Now I can look like shit. I had kids. Well, I only have to be a good dad a few days a week. It just encourages the laziness. It's a culture of laziness. It's an attitude of this entitlement. Once I have something, I no longer have to work to keep it. Now I guess I possess it forever. Bullshit. If you have standards, you can always rebuild yourself. Because you have that mental attitude, you have that mindset of what it takes to reorient yourself and how to work backwards. So let's see something and be like, I'm going to do that. Okay. Where are the steps to getting there? It teaches you how to plan. If you have no standards at all, like you have no idea what to do with anything. Because you don't work intentionally in anything. You don't follow anything. You have nothing that you abide by that you hold yourself to. So everything's equal in that way. Like, oh, I guess I don't know what to do. What do I do? I guess everything's appealing to me. I'm like, yeah, I guess everything is. But like, you're basically, like I said, you're in a place of nothingness. There's no form to your being. Like the one thing I've always been thankful for myself, like I've done a lot of shit wrong. A lot. But I've always held myself to that one standard, if nothing else. I get up every day and I always fucking train. I always train. I'm always in a state of physical readiness that if I need to go do something, I can do it. And I have the energy for it. And I have the energy to put into something. So yeah, I can get fucking my teeth, metaphorically knocked out. It's all right. I'll get back up. I'm still alert. I can still move. I can still keep going. We're okay. If I didn't have that, I would have fucking killed myself years ago. Like I would have. Like, what's there to live for?
We've got a lot of men in the chat that are glad you're back and appreciating the message. As you were talking, something that was standing out to me too is the lack of why. A lot of men don't have a why in their life whatsoever. So when they do the hard thing, they give up. And I'm writing a kind of a series on the family man side hustle about men who have families, but they want to do something more. And one of the biggest points I'm making, one of the biggest lessons in there is having a why. Because when things get hard, why are you working out? There's got to be some reason in your head. Why are you choosing to stay up late to build the business? Why are you in between, when everybody else is resting at the job, going to lunch, you're sitting there typing a blog post or something. There's got to be a why to what you're doing. And a lot of people have zero mission. What they wake up, they go to work, they come home. Nothing fucking outside ever enters their mind. And they're wondering why life isn't the way they want it to be. Well, you've not worked towards anything because you have no mission. You have no goal. There's no buoys for your ship to stay between so you can go towards a direction. You're just existing and not living. And that's when, you're talking about training or having something that men are going to do. They've got to have a reason as to why they're going to do what they're going to do. And for some, it's, I want to rate, like for me, I'm like, I want to have a fucking awesome family. I want my kids to be awesome. I'm location independent now. I want these things. So I'm going to work for them. That's my why. I want to be a fucking cool dad, a fucking cool man, have a cool brotherhood, and have a cool fucking life and then die. That's it. So that's why I do what I do. Men need that. Men need to find that in some way. They need to have a why.
No, I mean, dude, number 6, let's make that reinvention. You have to have a why. You have to have a reason for what you're doing. Like this, you have to have a reason. Like I said, that reason, like that's in you as to what your reason is. And for some men, it's gonna be very much something they have in common with lots of other men. But like if you have nothing that way, like you are just really fucked. Yeah, like if you have a why, like let's just make this. Let's say like number 7, like let's say you have a why, like you have to define your why. Number 7, like that gives you a voice. Like you're gonna reinvent yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have your why. Okay, great. Now you have to have unrelenting fucking self-belief in this.
Irrational self-confidence.
Yeah, irrational. I call it. It's a confidence that is proven only by itself. Why are you so confident? Because I'm so confident. It's just a fucking circular logic loop. And it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's not like A equals B. It's A equals A equals A equals A equals A. Over and over and over again. That makes you fucking bulletproof. Like you literally have to get killed to get stopped. If you have that, then anything you apply yourself to, you have the potential to be successful at it. That probability massively increases. If you don't have that and you don't believe in what you're doing, the world's just going to fucking eat you up. You're going to become that person where either the crowd or the audience or people's opinions or something, it's going to knock you off course. So many guys today, they're like sheep. They want to be more. They want to become something else. They see these things, maybe they're exposed to them. It's like, oh man, that'd be really cool to, be like embody that quality. But they're afraid of being criticized. They're afraid of critique. I mean this. I get messages like this all the fucking time from guys. Like, man, like like normie families. Like my family, I'm trying to change. Like, they don't like this, they don't like that, they don't like my attitude. I'm like, fuck all these people. I mean, if you have supportive people, that's amazing. A lot of people don't though. They get pushback from everyone they know. Everything they're doing runs up against somebody's sensibilities. They can't share what they really think. They can't share what they really think because I'm gonna get judged for it. This person might not like me anymore. It's gonna cause conflict with somebody. I'm like, who gives a fuck what mediocre people think about your goals? You having standards and that making someone uncomfortable, that's their fucking problem. Because now they have to go look in the mirror and reevaluate how they feel about themselves. They have to go reevaluate what their beliefs are. If it's really a moral quandary, like something generic, like, oh, my, whatever, like someone I know, my family's liberal, they can't stand that I support Trump. Fuck them. They don't want to get along with you. Okay, their fucking problem. They shouldn't watch CNN for the last 3 years. Made themselves mentally ill. Like you're gonna cause issues with people. I've caused issues with my own family. Like my parents love me. I have great parents. My parents love me, 100%. Like I'm not gonna pretend I had amazing parents. I had great fathers. But guess what? Like I have not had a stable career at all. My dad wanted me to go to fucking PT school and be a physical therapist. This shit went down on Twitter. My parents found out, like, oh, you got kicked off Twitter. Well, what are you going to do with your business? Like, oh my God, we're so worried for you. I'm like, I am fine. I'm 30 fucking years old. Parents are always going to worry about you, regardless, usually. Especially my mom's Jewish, so she's going to worry about fucking anything. But Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm fucking fine. I got plans. I'll make it work. Not a big deal. I mean, I haven't been living at home for fucking years and years and years. Like, what? Don't worry about it. I get messages. I'm looking at my messages, this, that. Like, you should pick something more stable. Like, why don't you do this? Why can't that? I'm like, I'm not that man. I'm never going to be that man. I'm doing life I do life my way. I've chosen to make myself a figure for men and to lead men towards something to create a better future. And no shit, that's going to cause issues. And that's going to cause conflict. That's going to happen. Okay, but somebody has to be that person leading from the front who's going to expose themselves to that kind of fire or deplatforming, or be that kind of role model. Like, no, not everyone's going to like you. We live in that kind of world now. That's how it goes. Like I've said, I never expected to be in this position. I was not my career goal 12 years ago. Like, oh, I'm going to be a leader of men. I still, like, I had to get comfortable even saying that to myself. I'm like, even like the past weekend when I was with the War Room guys, I'm like, I am a leader of men. Like, these guys genuinely look up to me. They listen to everything I fucking say. I'm like, God damn. Like, I need to take myself seriously. I need to take what I'm doing seriously. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm willing to do this. I accept this. I want this. All right. Like, I have a why here. Like, and I really, like, I've truly realized the past year. Awesome. Of course, other people, like, they're not going to get it. They don't need to get it. Only you need to get it.
That's absolutely correct. And that's, dude, if we could bottle that up and just give it to guys, it would solve so many problems. That's the elixir right there. It's just, look, find comfort in the discomfort. Don't search for stability. I like when Tanner says, your maximum aim for style should not be comfort. Stop trying to make yourself always comfortable. It's going to be weird. Life does get a little rocky, but at least, and Jeff Putnam just said it from Rugged Legacy, you're going to be judged by someone no matter what. Might as well be judged for doing your life. Look, people are going to judge you even if you're playing it safe. So you might as well go out and do things on your terms. You might as well just try to be you instead of being the guy you think people will like. Just be yourself. And you'll find a lot more people like you. And the ones who don't like you, fuck them. Like, at least they don't like you. But when you try to pretend to be somebody and then people like that guy, inside your little lizard brain, you still know they don't like you. So you don't even get that satisfaction. They like the persona, the makeup you're wearing. You're a clown dressed up with a smile on, even though there's tears and a frown behind it. And that's just one of the saddest things in the world. If you're going to do it, do it on your terms. And, like, fuck them. Seriously, just fuck them. Live your life. Own your life. Go forward. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's one of the best things about what's happened throughout my entire internet presence. Again, similar to you, when I left the Navy, I had no fucking clue I was going to be a writer. I didn't know I could write. And now here we are, 4 years later, doing this thing.
Yeah.
And I've had so much shit said about why I shouldn't be talking, shouldn't be writing. My message doesn't, all this fucking shit. You're just an average dude. Yeah, fuck you. I'm going to write anyway. And guess what? That resonates.
No, absolutely it does. There's always going to be those people. Like, it's, like I say it's not because of the criticism. Like, oh, it gets to you. I'm like, no, because I know it gets to people because when you start trying to express your voice initially, I mean, I've been writing a long time professionally. When you start trying to express yourself initially and you have like a message, you've learned something as a man, you want to share your knowledge, share your experiences, you will find out very swiftly that, like, everyone has tall poppy syndrome. Everyone wants to be successful. Everybody, everyone is told and encourages you, like, oh yeah, it's like succeed, grow, set goals, aim to be something, but not too much. Not too much. Like, we want everyone. We have this culture of what do you call it? Sort of this, like, the self-esteem culture and the success culture. Everyone wants to get ahead, keep ahead up with the Joneses. Oh yeah, do that. But if you stand out in a way that defies status quo, if you defy the crowd, if you step over the line of being average, mediocre into being excellent, well, that's going to upset somebody. So then, and you're going to get that pushback again. So you do. I remember like 5-6 years ago, the first time I ever wrote articles in the fitness industry. So they're getting published online. They're on a website, LeFTS. Now it's a personal trainer. So I'm not talking about like powerlifting. I'm talking about like training clients, tactics, strategies, things I apply. And I had a lot of positive feedback, but every article I ever wrote, it was hysterical. This is back when you could still say this, that people, they look at my background like, who's this ballet faggot? Why is he writing about being big and strong? This is bullshit. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, I was looking at it, I'm like, I didn't expect anyone to even fucking care about that. Yeah, that's always a weird thing. You have a certain expectation, maybe like, oh, no one's going to care what I have to say. But then not only do they care about what you have to say, but it upsets them that you'd even say it.
Yeah, who are you to say it?
Who are you to speak? I'm like, well, who the fuck are you to fucking critique? Yeah, who's anyone? Yeah, who's the man in the arena here? Me. Who's the man watching the guy in the arena? You. You can be as loud as you fucking want. You're never going to step in here. Ever. No, there is no one in history that envies fucking critics. There's no one in history that we look up to. I'm like, man, that guy was the best critic in the world. He changed the world. That's not a fucking thing. Yeah, there's that cliched chick quote that is stupid, like well-behaved women don't make history. That quote's bullshit, by the way. But I'll flip it around. I'll be a basic bro. Well-behaved men don't make history. You know why? Because everyone fucking hates agreeable men. Being ultra agreeable and getting along with everybody and being conformist and never being upsetting, you're fucking forgettable. You don't stand out to men. You don't stand out to women. You don't stand out to yourselves at all. Agreeable men are fucking useless. And obviously, I'm not saying to be hyper aggressive and start fights with people. Obviously.
No, but if you stand for
you
everything,
have to be cooperative. If you stand for nothing, you stand for nothing.
Exactly.
You stand for fucking nothing. Yeah. So fuck that. Fuck being agreeable.
Yep. When you look at it too, and this all fucking ties together. I mean, we're talking about the 10 lessons, but I mean, they're all one lesson. When you are confident, you will be disagreeable. You're not afraid to confront. When you have a plan, you're confident because you know where you're going. You have a direction. When you're intentional with what you're doing, it gets you to where you're going, which makes you more. It all ties back into itself. This is all being a man. And going all the way back to how we started with Twitter and the use of social media, that treat it like a man, not a child, not a teen, like a man should treat it. And a man, what is he? He's intentional with what he shares. A lot of men who are on here, they're wasting their time just going on there and trolling, going on there and just, I'm going to yell about politics today. Save your fucking breath, man. Or start a blog and talk about politics. Do something that actually matters instead of just wasting time scrolling on Twitter and, flipping out on somebody who says go Trump or #resist. Fuck it. Do your thing. Stop worrying about everybody else's thing. Do your thing very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say at that point, like I said, listen, do real work. Do real work. If you're going to, especially with Reinvention, you have to do real work. It has to be something like you're saying. It moves the needle forward. It's something people can read and internalize, and it gives them some direction. It's not just commentary. It's not just essentially gossip. Yeah, if you're gonna create any of this stuff, that's just such a basic thing. Are you willing to do the work? Yes or no? Okay, I have these really strong beliefs. Okay, well, actually make that constructive and useful for people. Do that work to set an example. Do that. Make that happen. Awesome, cool. Okay, great. Or you can just, you can fuck around. You can say some shit. You can gossip about bullshit. I'm gossiping. Look, I have opinions. And guess what? We all got fucking opinions. No one gives a fuck about your opinions. No one gives a shit. Unless you can truly become that level of person where your opinions somehow matter to hundreds of thousands of people. Great, if you can do that. If you're some fucking dude, like a lot of guys are, with, this no social traction, just throwing shit out, throwing out darts because you want to jump in on the fucking next bandwagon rodeo or whatever you're told to care about today, important in the political partisan world. Oh, Jesus, are you fucking wasting your time? Go waste it doing something. I'd rather you play fucking video games than do that shit. At least entertain yourself. At least get some joy out of what you're doing. And, all right, this was fun. If you're going to waste your time, waste it. I'm not going to say it's waste. If you're going to spend your time on something that's not momentum-based, go have fun doing something. Bullshitting, that's not fucking fun. That just leaves you fucking angry and pissed off. And now you're in a negative emotional state with nothing to show for yourself.
And people will say, well, on YouTube, we're just talking. Well, these conversations inspire action. This conversation, somebody will DM one of us, be like, hey, I saw your show. I thought about this. I'm going to start changing that. Boom. That's what this conversation is. The whole point of these talks, the whole point of being on social media is to share the message. Because when you share it, somebody's like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Mm-hmm. Or I didn't realize I was bullshitting on Twitter. I didn't realize I was using it immaturely. And that's the point of all of this. Your podcast, you've been doing that forever. You're not just talking to talk. There's a reason you're talking. There's an intentional reason you're talking. For your Instagram, there's an intentional reason you took that photo, you shared the men. There's a reason that we're having this specific conversation. This is all done with the purpose of being applied by another man. Apply it. We've got 36 people watching right now. The chat's full of dudes. Apply the conversation, apply the knowledge. It doesn't work if you don't. It's just a conversation that does nothing for anybody.
No, it doesn't. I mean, lesson number 9, you cut off dead weight. We're talking about all these things and doing things with intention. Yeah, cut out those things that are dead weight to you, whether that's people, whether that's habits, whether that's possessions. Like, you have to eliminate those things that are fucking dragging you down. That are those anchors around your neck. A lot of men have those things. It might be beliefs too, but you can't be adaptable. You can't move forward. You can't move ahead. You can't, lose everything and then rebuild yourself back up if you've got all these useless, let's just say, what we're gonna call them, like sort of this, like these useless, like fucking like rocks around you. Like this fucking atmosphere of just inertia. A lot of guys have that today, and they might not realize it, but because they're slave to people's opinions, because they got, they're held back by their own mindset of like, oh, well, I think this and that about myself that makes me weak, the way they speak to themselves, or even the fucking shit they own, their identity that's wrapped up in their possessions, their materialism. That's all going to slow you down. And the point, obviously, it's not to not have friends or know you can't own anything. But how much in your life really keeps you moving forward? What are those things that feed that? What are those things that feed the virtuous cycle and make you like a man of momentum? What are those things? What's this there? Because you were told it's supposed to be there, and you're told that you have to have these relationships with people. How much in your life really serves you that way? If that's one thing I've been good at, is that I don't allow anything to ever slow me down. I don't maintain things that make me slow, whether it be food, habits, exercises, relationships. I do not do that at all. That allows me to move very, very fast. I'm not in service to anything with a chain around my neck, ever. You got to cut off those chains.
I'd say you're either a fuel or an anchor. Your family's fuel or it's an anchor. Your friends are fuel or they're an anchor. They're holding your shit back or they're pushing you forward. You want to be better because of the people and things around you. But also, when you said, a lot of people think that happiness and joy in life is an attainment through possession. It's a physical place you go to. Oh, when I get this new car, when I get this big house, when I buy that new thing, then I'm there. When I get 1 million followers, then I'm there. Happiness, joy, all of that, that's a mindset. You can be fucking dirt poor with nothing but you and your dog and be the happiest dude in the world because you're already in that state. You found that's there. It's a mindset. And then everything else comes from that. All right, I'm good. Like you were saying, you can strip everything from a man and the man's still good. That's what's great about being a man. We can embrace the suck. We can be in the mud, wrestling with the guys. It fucking sucks. I'm tired. I'm sore and I'm happy as shit because fuck it. I'm a man and that's okay. And it's allowed to be uncomfortable. Again, this goes back to finding comfort in the discomfort. It goes back to having the people to fall back on. It goes back to all the lessons up to this point. When you can do all that, your mind goes to a place where you are enjoying everything. Every day I wake up and I'm like, fuck yeah, today's the day. Today's Friday, so a lot of people are cool. End of the work week. No, fuck the work week. It doesn't matter if it's Friday, if it's Tuesday, if it's Monday. It's a day. Smile, have a good time. You're allowed to have joy. But stop basing it on, I don't have to go to work and that makes me happy, tomorrow. That's not a mentality. That's another physical place. I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. Come on now. You're better than that. That's not life. You can hit that point too when you just stop basing it on other things and go inside. Fix yourself, fix your mindset, and boom. All of a sudden you're a happy dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say this. We said we come up with 10 lessons. Like number 10, I'll say 3 things. Pain tolerance, perseverance, fortitude. Those are all kind of all in one. You have, like you said, you have to embrace the suck. You have to embrace the suck. And one of the gifts that men have been given by God or by nature, men have fucking pain tolerance. We can keep moving. We can keep going. I'm not. I think probably most of the guys listening, I'm not a fan of, let's say, I'll say this. I'm not a proponent of the idea that everybody needs deep therapy and you had a traumatic childhood and you got issues. And we certainly, especially for younger guys that grow up in that sort of almost like Zoomer culture where it's fun to have a mental illness. That's normalized. It's part of your identity. You're I have anxiety. I'm fuck that.
Dude, I had the most fucked up childhood, and I'm fuck it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna base who I was doesn't dictate who I become.
Okay, you have anxiety because your parents didn't love you enough, or you didn't get told you were good enough in school. Okay, that is such bullshit. All right, it is bullshit. And we have this social atmosphere now, it's like a social mental illness. Other people have anxiety, other people have depression. I guess I'm a sad boy. BOI. Dude, fuck your fucking sadness. Okay, there's fucking kids that went through the fucking Holocaust and fucking camps. They came out and were fucking still alive. One had families, had kids. They weren't fucking giving in to their fucking apathetical, momentary depression, anxiety. The vast majority of these men need to fucking get the testosterone levels up, lift weights, go out in the fucking sun, get out of their fucking room, like quite literally, they actually do. And you need to fucking realize that their negativity, this internal emotional inertia, it's not fucking real. It's you making yourself feel a certain way. And because you have the feeling, and because you've been told by this fucking culture of basically like women that probably raised you fundamentally, that feelings are real, that somehow that's who you really are. That's not who you fucking are. You know, an emotion is transient. It passes in time. The things that define men as men, they're those things that are permanent. Muscle is fucking permanent. Bone is permanent. Strength is permanent. Action's permanent. Movement's permanent. It actually has kinesthetic physical effect. Your feelings, fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah, sometimes there is such a thing as disregarding your emotions. Not saying not to feel emotions. You know, obviously we want to feel joy and happiness and romance and all these things. Yes, we do. But not everything you feel is provable and proof of life simply because it's within you. Some of those things is past because it's normal. It's normal to be sad. It's normal to be unhappy. It's normal maybe to get anxious at times. That's not your fucking personality. Anxiety is fucking bullshit. You know, like, you know, I see this all the time with guys. They're afraid. They have a fear of like, oh, you know, the fear in so many areas, in so many things. You know, fear becomes endemic to you. You know, when you start defining yourself by what you are afraid of, and that's your first fucking reaction to everything that you get challenged with, like you are in for a life of fucking hell. You're going to avoid pain. You're going to avoid anything that requires fortitude. You know, all those things that like you look at and be like, oh man, it's going to take a long time. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. You're catalyzing your own failure from the very beginning. You're setting yourself up. You are structuring your life for failure over and over and over and over and over again. You know, you want pain tolerance. You need to do things that are going to make you fucking hurt. And that's how you prove to yourself that you can fucking not only do them, but you prove to yourself your capability of what your potential is. Perseverance is potential. Fortitude's potential. All these things increase your probability to become the man that hopefully you actually can be, that's within you. If you can't pull that out of yourself, your fucking life will destroy you.
I think you hit the fucking nail on the head. And I think that's a solid number 10, as so many messages I've received fall into that category. My life sucks. Well, what do? Nothing. That's why your life sucks. Like this is the loop you're in. Like it covers almost everything.
You just answered your own problem.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Trouble's been on this huge kick recently about hydration. You know, he's like, guys, start drinking water. And I'm like, fuck. People aren't even like I don't like water. Who the fuck doesn't like water? How are you at the point now where you need such a carnival in your mouth with everything you eat and drink that you can't have the one thing that your body needs more than anything? And it's like, oh, I just don't like it. If you can't drink water, you don't deserve the title of being a man. You don't deserve the life you say you deserve. You can't drink some fucking water. Never mind work out. Never mind go out in the cold for a walk or something. Like if you can't drink water, shut the fuck up. Like you don't deserve it.
Bro, I'm always amazed at like, this is from personal training when I was training actively, but grown adult men who need to be told the most basic shit. But I mean, there's a market for it. Like we can't say there's not. It's like, hey man, you need to like not eat like shit. Oh yeah, you're right. I should stop being Wendy's and McDonald's and all this shit every day. You need to drink more water. Oh, I guess you're right. I should drink more water. It's good to lift weights. Yeah, I guess it is good to lift weights. I should be strong. Like, but this is so fucking basic. Yeah, not to be like your fucking father when you're 5, but yeah, a lot of what men actually need, what they need to be doing, it's like what you tell like a 6-year-old child, or a 10-year-old boy. Go outside, exercise. Go. It's like boys should be strong. Don't eat like a fucking 5-year-old. Eat like an adult. Just basic shit. But then we say it's basic, but then you have all these men today where it's like they got fat, they got lazy, they're drinking fucking soda. You're on their goddamn couch, like quite literally they are. It's like no standards, no fucking pain tolerance, not striving for anything. Yeah, no sense of fucking ambition for the future. They got none of it. Yes, they've devolved in this weird sort of like not obviously caricature. They've devolved into like this weird like sort of like amorphous blob. Don't be a blob.
I like that. All right, we're closing in on wrapping this one up. I always ask the chat if they have any questions for the panel. So I've got a few questions for you from the guys. Yeah. So the first one's from Anthony. Solid dude, solid father, solid man. What do you do to pick yourself up when you're feeling unmotivated and exhausted from being consistent in doing the hard work?
I don't do anything. I don't believe in motivation or exhaustion as being like, oh, I can't do anything. I'll be so tired. Make action a habit, irrespective of how you feel. This is like going to the gym every day or training every day. Make that a habit to the point where it's not about whether you feel like it. It's not emotion, it's not motivation. You can't let those things affect your ability to work. Period. I know there's always going to be, but what if I don't give a fuck? It does not fucking matter. Those men who accomplish things way beyond myself, I'm not that accomplished. Those guys who are billionaires, those men who create things that are just truly substantial and massive in scale, they do not wake up every day seeing if they're going to feel like doing anything. They don't get out of bed. Am I motivated today? Yes or no? Middle of the day. Am I tired right now? Oh, I don't want to go to the gym if I'm tired. They don't fucking care. They act regardless of their internal emotional state, regardless of their physical exhaustion. They will go until they're fucking dead. You know, imagine this. Imagine you have a villain. Imagine that you have a guy who looks like you, who's a clone. I'm gonna borrow from like fucking Tate. He uses a great thing with a McDouble. Imagine there's a guy that looks exactly like you. He's your clone, but your clone fucking doesn't get tired. Your double, your what's the term for, when do you have someone your doppelganger? Yeah, so your doppelganger, when he's tired, he still goes to the gym. When he's not feeling motivated, he still gets up and works. And every moment where you would stop yourself and be like, oh, I'm not feeling it right now, he keeps fucking going because he knows what he needs to do. He's like the super villain. He's like that super villain version of yourself, of what you could be. So use that as your example. What would that guy do right now? Would he say fuck off and not work today? Would he let himself get motivated? Would he slack? Would he take shit from a fucking woman? No, he wouldn't do any of that shit. He'd keep fucking going. So what's stopping you from doing that? Your feelings, your body being a little like lagging, then fucking dial down the workout a little bit. Get something done versus maybe you can't go 100, go 50. 50 is more than 0. Yeah, I'm dead serious about this. I do not believe in fucking relying on feelings ever. Unless you have worked yourself to exhaustion or you literally need a day to recover, recharge, like you can't physically do anything, like you can't. Okay, yes, there are exceptions. No kidding. We're all human. We need sleep. We need to eat. We need shelter. Yes, I'm not arguing against that. We need relaxation. But beyond that, as a man, your life should just be purely fucking momentum. All the time, as much as possible.
I like how, because of the environment that we've been writing in for so long, that you now put your disclaimers. Like if you and I were sitting having this conversation, you would not have said, all right, if you have worked yourself to, if you have to like leave that little caveat because somebody somewhere is going to be like, well, what about this one? Except you're like, fuck. Like, all right.
What about guys?
I'm going to give my disclaimer. This
what
one
about
guy
guys in the special forces who go to boot camp for this week and they're tired and at the end and they want to sleep. Like, no shit, really. Like how? Yeah, like haven't I? Like 1, you're an idiot. 2, like stop thinking binary. 3, you're not capable of action or thought. 4, if your thinking is that limited, where it's either this or this, and you can only think like in words. Like, well, you know what? Fuck. Like, you're right. I'm wrong. Go do life your way. You clearly know more than me. Like, I'm not going to fucking argue with idiots.
Just funny. Man. All right. Next question. I would be interested in what AJ's plan is on YouTube as far as what type of content and format you're going to dig into.
Well, I mean, the initial plan is basically just to start posting daily on YouTube. So here's the thing, guys. For like any kind of social media growth, this is as basic as it gets. You have to post every day. Period. That has to happen. Posting every day has to happen. So that's number 1. I've already started the daily like YouTube vlog. Number 2, I'm going to start interviewing the guys I know, making podcasts, posting those podcast interviews to YouTube. That'll start getting traction, gelling. Yeah, number 3, in the long term, I'm going to actually make the content. I'm actually going to make the channel a nice channel. It's going to be professional looking, nice looking videos. And I'm going to show both my lifestyle of how I actually live my day-to-day life as, in regards to like running my businesses. Like basically like the lessons of like, the models I use. Yeah, and also show like role models of like men to follow, whether it be other men or whether it be, this principles that men abide by. So it's going to be a masculine and male working channel. Like here's how to be a man in the 21st century and be successful. So and everything that entails. Which is basically like I could go, well, there's probably about 1 million subjects I could talk about in a given day. So
cool. Next, we got 2 more, then we'll wrap this up. Curious about your overseas experience. What was it like? Was it just Romania? And do you plan to stick in the U.S. now, or are you going to be heading out?
No, I'm leaving in 2 months. I'm out. I'm leaving the United States. Yeah, I was in Brussels. I was in Romania. I was in Belgium. I was in Belgium. I was in Romania. I lived in Romania. But no, I'm leaving the U.S. For various reasons. Not because I think the U.S. is like a failed place. It's like, oh, it's all is lost. But I'm 30. I have absolute fucking freedom. I have my income is taken care of. I have the money to do practically almost anything I want. I have no desire nor interest in staying here and having a routine life with, like, oh, my girl, we just do the same shit every day. And, like, I'm not doing that. My plan when I turn 40 is to speak 5 languages and have travel to like 100 fucking countries and have fucking adventures. And that is what I'm going to do.
It's fucking cool. I don't know if it was an email that you read, but it's talking about freedom and, actualizing, going out and doing the thing.
Yeah.
It might have been a message, might have been an email. I don't remember, but I was like, that's fucking cool. Like that's the way to do it. All right. Final question. At what age did you feel you started coming into your own?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I would say I always had a very defined personality from when I was very young. I was never someone that was a conformist. I was not a guy that really cared if people got along with me. And I was like, I was alone for much of my childhood. So I mean, I could say on that level, like I've always had that independent streak. But as far as like coming to my own, where like I feel like, oh, I'm really getting like successful. Like this is fucking cool. I would say honestly, probably the last like 2 years. Let's say like 28. Around 2 years ago. And I think that's normal for men. I think, as a young guy, it takes about 10 years to really mature. Your brain keeps changing until 25. When you're 18, no matter how successful you are, high school, sports, whatever, you're fucking 18. There's so many experiences you have to go through as a man. Whether it be with women, whether it be with failure, whether it be with challenge, whether it be with a perseverance, whether it be with this accomplishment, whether it be with being promoted, like being financially independent, moving out of your home, making your own decisions, facing the consequences. That takes time. You can't really speed up that timetable too much. You really can't. So I would say it takes about 10 years. Like by the time you're 28, 29, 30, you should be pretty well defined in who you are, what you're about, and what you're aiming for and striving for. If you're hitting 30 and you don't have shit to show for yourself, and I don't mean like you need to be a billionaire. That's not my point. But you don't have shit to show for yourself. You're not fit. You don't have any sort of financial future. You have no financial security. You have nothing you're good at. You have no competency. You have no confidence. You have nothing cool that you've done. You've had no women. Like you don't have any of those basic elements. Yeah. I mean, you've been doggy paddling at zero for quite some time. You're like, I'm not gonna say you're circling the drain, but you're at a disadvantage now because you're 30. And at 30, people have the expectation that at 30, like as a man, okay, you can pay for your own shit and you can take care of yourself. If you're even struggling to do that, where you like this, the aura of laziness comes off of you, and entitlement, like God, you're working from like negative, like you're not even at zero, you're like at like -10 right now. You have a big hill to climb. But I mean, as far as coming to my own, I'd say 20, 29, 30. Like the last 3 years have really been like where I felt like, okay, like life is just blasting off. I've clearly done something useful with my time the past 10 years. I can see it. It's having an effect.
And one of the guys in the chat said that he was 20 and he's kind of feeling that. And I want people to keep in mind, as AJ's telling this, the time frame, you're kind of building the foundation from which the rocket takes off of. So you're not going to have immediate results, but the things you keep doing, sending in the right direction, it really accelerates that explosion later on. So you just keep putting in the work now, and eventually it's just like to the moon. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's like 1 + 1 = 9. If you do it properly. Actions
compound. You have to take advantage.
That's the word I was looking for. Compound.
So compound interest, compounding actions. You like apply that principle to your whole life. Everything you do compounds. Everything. At 20, I've heard young guys tell me that too as well. It's like, oh man, I'm 21, 22. Like I just turned 20. Like I feel like I'm behind. I'm like, bro, like what are you looking at that's making you feel that way? Like I don't know. I really, it's a real question. Like what? Like how are you at 20 and you're somehow looking at what social media and like, oh, I'm behind because like you're seeing some dude bullshit with like fake cars and women. Like, maybe that's what they're watching. I don't know. I mean, like the tapes are really good friends of mine. They're in their 30s. It took them like over 10 years to get really fucking successful where they can, show off that flash that way. For pretty much any man, it's going to take 10 years. So being 20 and seeing, I don't know, some chuckle fuck on social media who like legitimately ran. I know because I have seen guys do this. I've seen them and I know it's bullshit, like behind the scenes, where they legitimately like stood next to a car they don't own, got some girls that they've never fucked, and it's like, oh hey, like I'm gonna take a picture to try to look successful. I'm gonna try and look cool right now. Stop worrying about trying to look fucking cool for people and go do the fuck goddamn work. Go do the uncool shit, which is fucking effort repeated every single fucking day, and setting a fucking goal and showing up. Go do that shit. Worrying about these sort of success accompaniments that you think matter at 20, like, you don't fucking need that shit. You need to fucking go to the gym, do incline bench press, go to your fucking job, get your fucking paycheck, get promoted, develop your skill set, do fucking that. Having that fear, anxiety at 20, you're as free as you're ever going to be. You have all the energy you're ever going to have. Apply to something. Worry about not working hard enough. Worry about that. Don't worry about the success that you think you should have because social bullshit told you that some guys supposedly they create that for themselves because, I don't know, e-commerce, some shit. And how come you don't have that? Fuck that bullshit. Go out and do the work and work in silence if you have to. Actually, probably you should work in silence. Don't distract yourself with trying to show proof of something that you're not.
You talk about the stress and anxiety. Imagine being the guy taking that photo near the car, near the girl. He is so afraid of being found out. In the back of his brain, that has to be on his mind. Like, somebody asked me, what if you get doxxed, Hunter? I'm like, you fucking know me. You know my whole life. Like, there's nothing to show or share.
That's not really your Jeep. You ran that Jeep. Right.
You see these accounts, they fly up, they're famous, and they burn the fuck out because it's all a fucking facade. And they're just like, oh, delete.
I've seen that so many times. And I saw that in the fitness industry as well. And those people, they always fade away. Always.
Yep.
Always. You can only get away with being fake for so long. Be real. Build something real.
All right. It's been a solid fucking show, man.
All right, dude.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. For everybody that linked up, next show will be on Monday, 09 Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure who's going to be on there. It's a surprise guest. We'll go with that. So I'll find somebody over the weekend. AJ, thanks for coming on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, subscribe, like, share. You know the work.
All right, gentlemen. Good talking to you all. Talk again, bro.